Okay, if you are watching this video, it's probably two things: whether you are interested in applying for college in like nursing training, or you have already applied and now want the next thing to do. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining all the details involved when it comes to applying for nursing in Ghana. I mean particularly college. So guys, before I go into it, let me introduce myself first. My name is Elijah. I'm a product of College of Nursing and Midwifery in Aredogo, and I think it is good to share my experience with you guys. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So first of all, before you apply for college like for nursing training in Ghana as a student, first of all you need to complete senior high school. After completing senior high school, you need to have a good grade. Like for diploma programs, you need to have from A1 to C6, and for certificate program from A1 to E8. That's how it's structured, I mean for college. So when you don't have that requirement, the next thing to do is to go to banks that are selling their forms. There are banks that are selling their forms, and most popular banks that are selling nursing forms are the ADB and Ghana Commercial Bank, the Ghana Agricultural Development Bank, and that of the Ghana Commercial Bank and Ghana like Agricultural Development Bank. That's the main two banks selling their forms. So after you now go to the bank to buy a form, the form is just only some pin, I don't know, it's a number on it. When you are applying, they are having a portion to enter that serial number to signify that you have bought the form. So after you have now buy the form, the next thing to do is to take your documents. This includes your passport, your YC or NABDEC resource combined. If you are having only YC, that's fine. And you need to your date of birth, everything, like all the details will be displayed. So after you now go to the cafe, their website, you tell the cafe people maybe the school that you want to apply. They will search. Every school is having their website online, so they will search for the school website, enter into their system, look for like their requirement for every nursing training college or so. Their requirement, the main thing that they request is your resource. That's the first thing. It can be YC and NABDEC at the same time, or YC alone. So after you have now getting all that, like details like your name, surname, and every details, personal information will be filled. They will be having a place for you to put your resource, home address, email address, and phone number. And email address and phone number is the most important thing at that moment, because they will be sending you whether interview message or admission message through that email and that of your number that you have submitted. So after you have now done that, it can be like some schools it will take about 3 weeks, others it will take about 1 month before you'll be text a message to come for interview. So when you come to interview, actually I don't know of other schools, but the school that I attended, when you come for interview, like the first thing will just be you go and they will conduct some exams related to health science and sometimes science. That's most of the side, and sometimes your personal life, they can ask some questions related to that. And after they have now asked things related to health and your experience based on that area and your interests that drive you into that area, the next thing that will happen is they will be conducting exams. So the exams depend on that institution's policy. So it can be 100 objectives, it can be 50 objectives, depending on how they want their team to go. So after you have now done that, so you will now go and now wait for some time. It can also take about 1 month or 3 weeks before you will now be text message that you have been given admission into the school. Or it can even, some it would even take up to 2 months depending on the time that you have applied. If you apply at the earliest stage, it can take up to 2 months, but if you apply at the middle or last part, it may be 1 month or even 3 weeks. So after you have now done that, like after you have applied, wait, and you have given admission. In the admission, they will be requesting for, like, they'll give you the amount that you need to pay as tuition fees, like all the utilities and everything, accommodation, everything, all the fees will be given to you through that message. And with your student ID or student ID, that ID is when you are coming for interview that they will give you that ID. So they will send your admission through with that ID number. So when you go to bank, they will be saying that go and pay your things in that message. They will say you should go and pay your things in your money in the bank, and now bring them bank drafts. So I'm going to be explaining the bank drafts shortly. So after you have now go to the bank and pay for the fees, the tuition fees, the accommodations, utilities, and everything. You have paid everything. The bank will issue you a paper. That paper, the manager of the bank stamp will be there, everything with the amount that you have paid in it, and the details that involve your full name, your student ID, everything will be on it. So when that thing, like, you now pay everything, and you now take that paper, like that paper that they have given you, and now go to the school itself. After you have now go to the school, you go to the school account office. That's where you go. So when you now go to the school account office, the thing that they will do, they will take your draft, your bank draft, that paper, to cross check to see whether it is true that you have paid. So when you have the cross check and they see that you have paid, it is true that you have paid, the next thing that they will do is to give you admission letter. Like, they will give you admission letter through the principal of the head of that institution. So the principal stamp will be there, the rules and regulations that you need to follow, and that the things that you'll be buying, everything will be listed in that admission letter. Everything will be listed there, rules and regulations, things that you need to buy, do's and the don't. So everything will be listed there, and they will give you like time that you need to report to school. Like, they will give you time that you need to report to school. So after you have now given the time to report to school, you go back and prepare and make sure that within that time period you have report to school. So when you report, the first thing to do is you need to go to the school itself and go to the administration department. So when you go there, they are having houses, like the school that I attended, they were having hostels for the students. So every hostel is having a tutor who is in charge of it, or somebody is in charge of that hostel. So after you now go to the administration office, tell them, they will look for, they're having accommodations for every hostel. So if a particular hostel is full, they will be cross-checking. Okay, this one is not yet full, so they will direct you to the hostel, the one who is in charge of that hostel, and he will issue you like your name will be on it, the hostel name, and they will stamp it to signify that you have been endorsed to go to that hostel. So when you now take your things, to go to that hostel, and you reach there, they are also having landlord. That means the one is also one of the students who is in charge of that hostel. So when you come to like the hostel, the first thing to do is to submit your things to the landlord. Tell the landlord you have been given like this like form or so to come to this place and stay. So the landlord will also look for rooms that are not yet occupied, and he will now give you, okay, this is your room. Or it can be possible that you'll be 2 or 3 in a room. Me, where I stay, we were 3, actually we were 4 in a room, and just come to some time, and one, it was just left with some time, some small period of time, and one complete, and we were left with 3 in the room. So I don't know of other schools, I'm talking based on my, like the way I experience. And I know most of the institutions, that's how it goes, and I think you guys, you need this. So after you have now given that, the next thing to do is, like in nursing institutions, they are having a lot, like you maybe some schools, they'll ask you to buy some books, like they are having some books that they work with in their institution. There are some institutions they will ask you to buy, and some institutions too, they will include it in the admission letter. They will buy it and you will pay through your admission letter, and when you don't come, they'll give it to you. That's what some of them will do. And uniform, some they will say, okay, don't buy uniform, you when you come, we'll give you uniform. But I would say it is advisable to have your own uniform, know their dressing code, have that uniform before you go, because when you go at the first day, they will not give you uniform, and maybe they will be teaching others that you need to join. So after like you have now given a room to stay, the next thing to do is, now like let's say you report, the next day will be a Monday or Tuesday, it can be any day when it is school days. You now go to school, and the one in charge of the things that they say you should buy, in my school, he used to come to the classes and ask if your own is ready. Like they'll give you time period. It doesn't mean that you should submit it at your own pace or the time that you want. They will give you time period, and when your own is ready, you come and submit it, and he will document everything in the things that you have submitted. He will put it inside the book. So, and we also have stores for instance, and my school, they will tell you the materials that you need to buy, and now submit it to school, like the school, and they will show your uniform for you. I don't know of other schools. So you now go to, after that you now take the rest, most of the things, the BP apparatus and the books, gloves and other things was given, like one person was given that chance to take care of that, and another person was given another chance to take care of the store, like collecting of that uniform materials and that of the graphs. So after you have now submit that, the next thing is classes. In my own, they were like, in my school, they were having like classes they normally do, because they know their number. But when you start to report, they will say, like, they will be making sure maybe there's, like, they do it, let's say every 100 people will be entering every room, like every classroom. When they reach, like, they'll be registering. When they reach 100 people in that classroom, they will continue with another class. Till that class is also full. They will do that way till they reach their limit, like the number of people that they have admitted, till every class is full. And when you are, it doesn't mean that when you do that you are done. They are having indexing. Indexing is like when you now start to school, like you are now admitted, you are now in the school, and you are now in the process of, like, it will come to time, like after you are admitted, you, like, maybe there was, maybe every semester you'll be treating about maybe 6 or 7 books depending on the institution's policy. So after middle of that semester, you'll be like, they'll conduct mid semester for you. So when you, like, the mid semester is occupying 30 marks, that's 30%, and the exams itself is occupying 70%, making it 100%. So for the best thing, like, if you want to, like, your passing to be easier, you need to make sure that you perform in the mid semester. So when you perform in the mid semester and you put some effort in the end of time exams, your pass will be easier because they will combine it. Let's say you are able to get about 20 or 25 in the mid semester. It is not possible that you get everything. You can't get 30. It's not possible. So let's say you get about 25 in the mid semester, and that of you wait 25 in the mid semester, and you force yourself to get, let's say you get about 30 in the exams, 30% in the exams, adding it to the 24, which is about 55. Oh, you have passed. That's it. In my school, they were having from 40, yeah, from 40 and above. From 40 was, is this, I can't actually recall, by C or so, because I was not within that range. I don't know much, but like, they are having from A1 to that of C minus. That's the last. When you get D, you are having refer. You need to rewrite the exams. When you are having D, E, F, you need to rewrite receipt. You need to write receipt for the exams, and the receipt, you pay for it. You pay for the receipt depending on the institution's policy. You pay for the receipt, and when you you didn't pass, you continue to write that paper until you pass. Some institutions, they will allow you to maybe to go to next class. So, but when you go, like, they'll promote you. But when you go, make sure that at the end of the season, or let's say at the end of your completion, when you didn't write that paper and you are failed, you write the licensure exams, all right. But when you want to further, you need to come back. You come back and write that paper and pass before you can now take your transcripts and now go to another, like, institutions, or to further your education. So back to that of indexing, and all these things will be done through indexing. So indexing, the requirement that they will be in need of is that of, they will be asking of your birth certificate, your school, like YC things and everything, like the YC certificate. And if you are having issue with date of birth or any other thing, they will be requesting you to do gazette and affidavit. So the gazette and affidavit is a legal documents that you go to court. You go to court and tell them that, okay, oh, this is my right date of birth, but due to, like, typing or so, like, maybe they made mistake in this place, so I want everything to tally. You complain what happened, and that thing happened that way. They will put that statement in that, and that's the affidavit. And now, like, you now process it to where you get your gazette, and they do the gazette in Accra. That's where they do the gazette. And after you have now, you have now done that, or let's say your documents, everything is tallied, the next thing for them to do is indexing. And indexing, the process, they're having the resource, or your resource, they will still scan it. They will be in need of your original YC resource, and that will maybe original NORDEC resource. So they will scan it. They're having their system to scan it to make sure that your resource is original. It's not fake. You didn't edit things and come. So they will make sure that the things are, everything is original. And if it is not original, please, I will advise you not to to use fake results and go, because they are strict. When it comes to nursing, everything, they are strict in that. So when they they do that and they see that your result is fake, they will call police for you. Like police will come and arrest you, because that's a criminal offense or criminal act. Police will come and arrest you, and the fees, the admission fees and everything that you have paid, you will not get any refund. That's the case. You will not get any refund, and you'll be arrested for that, and you'll be charged something in addition because of what you have committed. So after you have done that, your indexing, everything is successful, they will process your things and give you your index numbers. Your index number, that's the things that you now use to write your licensure examination. And licensure exam, when after you be in school, when you are now ready to be writing your licensure examination, every semester you'll be going for clinicals. It can be internal and external. So when you go for vacation, you go for clinicals. And when you are in school, you also go sometimes. Most of their work is practicals. You need to be good in practicals before you can be able to cope, because everything is almost practicals. So after you have now practiced till that time, and you'll be having logbook. The logbook is like your attendance and activities that you have done in the ward. So you make sure that you sign, like you are able to do about 70% of the activities provided in that logbook before you will be able to allow to write your licensure exams. And all these things is done through in the hospital section, that they are having their part. They'll be like, if you perform activities, you'll tell the ward in charge to stamp, and after the end of the clinicals, you could send it to the clinical coordinator to also stamp it, to show that you have done all that. And in school settings, they are also having tutors, like what they do, like their column. If they teach something, you need to submit it to them. Now you have learned this, and they will also stamp it or sign it to make sure that everything is legal. And they are also having in the school, they are also having their practical room. Those who are also in charge of that, that's a clinical coordinator to them, who are also in charge of that, to be also sign and stamp that, to make sure that you have also performed that activities. So after all that is now done, the next thing is now to be preparing for the exams, and they are having practicals and that of theory. And the theory part is not about writing, its objectives. Most of it, like the general is 50 objectives, basic clinical side is 100 objectives. So that's it. You now do it, like when you pass your licensure examination, you'll be at the end of, they'll take their time within some period of time to submit, like organize everything, and if you are passed, they will send you a link to check. Nobody will know whether you have passed or not, except you. They will give you a link with you enter your date of birth and some of your details, for them to give you directions that for you to log into your system. Every student is having his or her portal, so you log into your portal and see your results. If you have passed, you yourself you see, and if you have failed to, you see. So when you log into your portal, what you see, like when you pass, they used to give other excellent and other things, but they say that because of that, they see when it comes to in the ward settings, some people don't respect others. So nowadays, when you just log into your system, you see pass throughout. Maybe basic clinicals pass, general paper pass, and that of practicals pass. That's what you can see. You will not know whether the amount of your level of passing, you will not know that. So after you have done all that, and let's say you are successful, so the next thing is you register for your the school will process your transcripts, and you also register for your NMC certificate. And after you have issued your NMC certificate, you also they're also having something like, it's like Ghana card, but that one is not having that shiny thing at the back, but they're having it like Ghana card. That one is your student identification number, like that's the personal identification number to show that you have enrolled in that field, or it can be that's auxiliary identification number, or personal identification number. PIN and IN is two things involved. Diploma is having PIN, and certificate is having IN. So after you have you have now done that, every year you'll be renewing that particular thing. Like you see at the back that place you need to renew your IN every year. So every year you'll be renewing it until you are posted. So you'll be posted by the government. So until you are posted, and when you are posted, you'll still be renewing it. And I don't know what is happening in the world settings for now, so I think that's what I can share with you guys for now. So I hope this video you find it valuable, and if you find it valuable, make sure you smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and if you want to know more about anything, just feel free to comment in the comment section, and I'll be there to reply you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.